Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Well, today we're going to cover a story on if Microsoft fans are paid or not. Now, this is coming from essentiallysports.com, and like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, ever since the FTC and Microsoft case is wrapped up, I see on the internet that a bunch of Sony fans are in their feelings. I'm seeing so many articles online, articles saying that Microsoft did poorly in the FTC case, which is a load of nonsense, and I covered that in my last video. Now today we're going to cover a story that is saying that Microsoft fans are paid, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Now the article says the aftermath of the FTC versus Microsoft case has been quite interesting to say the least. That's because the situation is still far from being settled as everyone is waiting for the results. While it's still a few days away, there's another piece of news that's spreading across social media rapidly that the Xbox community won't feel very good about. It seems like someone just got really affected by the recently concluded case of Microsoft and FTC on behalf of Sony. Probably that's why it ended up sharing a tweet that could cause a major controversy on the internet, especially among Xbox fanatics. What's even more interesting to know is that this tweet is made by someone who was previously associated with the World of Warcraft. The latter is an IP by Activision, the same publisher Microsoft is trying to acquire for $68.7 billion. So right off the bat, to me, this seems like an issue of sour grapes. I think this person is not happy that this acquisition is looking good for Microsoft and they just want to throw some shade. So they're saying that Xbox creators are paid. Now, this is absolutely ridiculous. Now, the person's name is Mark Kern, a Taiwanese-American video game designer, best known for being the team leader of World of Warcraft. Now, he recently took to Twitter to share his opinions on the Xbox fandom. While dropping his tweet, he wrote the hardcore fans praising Microsoft are not real. I quote, "A lot of these Xbox fans are paid firms or bots, rabid fan run or MS run. This is standard practice now in corporal warfare," read Mr. Kern's tweet. Additionally, he also wrote that the ongoing situation will become far worse with AI. Now, oh my gosh, man. It's like if you're an Xbox fan, you're not allowed to like anything. And I'm sure lately you're probably hearing a lot more action from Xbox fans with this merger going through. Now on social media, on forums, Sony is pretty vocal and they have a large presence. There's certain forums that if you even mention Xbox too much, they will ban you. So it's not cool to talk about Xbox in some of these communities, and you're ridiculed a lot being an Xbox fan. Now I find this absolutely ridiculous. All the Sony fans that are in their feelings, and believe you me, right now they are in their feelings. And this week, when the ruling comes down, and when and if it goes in Microsoft's favor, a lot of these guys are going to be butt hurt. Seriously, it's going to be crazy out there. And I have a lot of receipts for these guys, and I can't wait to present it to you guys. Anyways, let's just get back into this. So, this is his actual tweet here. He says, "Nothing is real. A lot of these Xbox fans are paid firms or bots, a rabid fan run or a Microsoft run, and this is standard practice now in corporal warfare." This is a direct shot at Xbox fans, and it's ridiculous. And I think someone in his position shouldn't be saying stuff like this. You shouldn't be involved in the quote-unquote console wars. But his feelings are clearly hurt, and I take what he says with a grain of salt. But if we're gonna break things down on that these are not real fans, then let's break it down. First of all, there's way more PlayStation fans than Xbox fans. I'm sure there's some bots out there, but you better believe there'd be more PlayStation bots than Xbox. That's pretty funny. I think I made a pun there, Xbots. The point I'm trying to make is that I'm sure there'd be a lot more PlayStation bots than Xbox, fake accounts. Now, the article goes on to say it's not hidden from anyone that both the PlayStation and Xbox lovers admire their favorite console a lot. This is quite normal to witness on social media, given the fact that console wars is a thing now, as mentioned in a recent case itself. However, Kern's tweet might result in an unnecessary, elongated conversation between the fans of Sony and Microsoft. As of this writing, Mark hasn't shared a follow-up tweet, the one mentioned above, to explain what is going on in his mind while making such a claim. So, like I said, this is just someone being really upset about this deal. Maybe they're upset with Microsoft. I don't think there's any truth to the situation. And once again, if they are botting, there'd be a lot more PlayStation bots than Xbox fake accounts. Continuing on that trend of it's not being cool to be an Xbox fan, we have Broken Games HDR out here being a bully once again. I don't understand. Why do you care? Why do you care if an Xbox fan writes to an executive? I don't understand it. Anyways, he was going in on Tim Dog, making fun of him for writing to executives. And that also seemed to be a trend over on Twitter. A lot of these guys were making fun of Xbox fans, writing to some of these executives, saying they're not your friends, they don't care what you say. And I gotta say right off the bat, there's a difference between both organizations, Sony and Microsoft. Just like there's a difference between AMD and Nvidia. AMD is a lot more involved with the community. They'll actually respond to your tweets, your YouTube messages, or if you email them. They're involved with the community. They actually care. And I'm not saying that corporations are your friends and they want to be buddies with you. There are some corporations that do get more involved with the consumers, with their user base. And AMD and Microsoft, or specifically Xbox, is one of them. Now, I want to show you something. As he's being made fun of here, let's click on his actual tweet. As you can see, he says, "I hope you have a good 4th. What do you think on the Dev Direct format moving forward for Xbox?" Phil responds saying, "Thanks. Hope everyone is celebrating and having a safe and nice 4th of July. And on the Dev Directs, I really like the format, whether it's one game deep dive like Starfield or more games like January's show. I think it's good to spotlight the creators and hear their vision." So what is funny about that? Phil Spencer actually took the time out of his day to respond to Tim Dog, and he does that with many Xbox fans. Of course, he can't answer everybody, but he makes an attempt. I don't see Sony executives out there doing that. They don't have the same engagement with their user base. They just don't. You don't see these guys playing games with the gamers. Phil Spencer actually plays with gamers. He goes and has sessions with them. So it's a different type of relationship. And I just think you guys are salty that maybe you can't do it with your developers, that you can't do it with your executives. I'm not quite sure, but I don't understand why you care if an Xbox fan says something to a Microsoft executive. Because I see Sony fans all the time writing to executives. "You better block this deal. You better do this. Oh, this is so great. Look at those numbers. Xbox sucks." Sony fans also message executives. You know what the difference is? The Xbox executives most of the time answer back. But honestly, it's just ridiculous. Don't you guys have a new game to play? Isn't Final Fantasy 16 out? Are you guys not playing the game because your PlayStation put you on pause? Because it's overheating, you're waiting for it to actually start back up again, so you guys are on Twitter more? Is that why you guys are more active on Twitter? Is it because this deal doesn't look like it's going the FTC's way that you guys are more active on Twitter? It's ridiculous. And I usually don't get involved in the console wars. I do like Xbox. It's my preferred platform. I play the PlayStation as well. I play on everything. But I gotta be honest, this kind of stuff is ridiculous. And it's from people I expect better from. Sony fans do better. You guys are number one, top of the charts, market leader. Why are you so concerned on what Xbox is doing, what Xbox fans are doing? You should be just concentrated on your platform. You're number one. What do you have to complain about? But you guys are out here salty, and it's ridiculous. And I see outlet after outlet. I'm sorry, guys, but this kind of stuff, it really grinds my gears. Let people enjoy what they enjoy, for the most part. Yes, there's going to be times we're going to criticize certain things on platforms, but it's got to make sense. And an Xbox fan talking to an Xbox executive that actually replies to them, that actually plays with the community, is nothing to be laughed at. There's nothing weird about that. It would be weird if you keep writing this guy every day and he never answers to you, if he's never played games with you and you're sending him flowers and you're outside his house. Now that is weird behavior. But Twitter and social media, it was created so that we could speak to one another. And some executives and some companies are more involved with their user base, with their consumers, with their fans, whatever you want to call it. And Microsoft Xbox is one of those companies. And like I mentioned earlier, AMD. There's certain companies that just interact more with their fans. Xbox has like Xbox Fan Fest and all these different shows. Sony doesn't offer that to their fans. They're not out there doing meet and greets with the fans. They're not so accessible to the media. They're not doing interviews. They're not answering the tough questions from the fans. Microsoft, or I should say specifically Xbox, is doing this. They are that type of company. And I'll just be honest, I think this was unwarranted. I think it's just stupid. I think people are in their feelings, and when they're in their feelings, they write stupid things. And this is definitely stupid, especially when you have Phil Spencer responding to Tim Dog, actually having a conversation with him. It makes you look idiotic. And I don't have anything against Broken Games HDR. Nothing at all. He makes good content. He has a great show. He's been on RDX many times. But I just don't like his take on this. And he's entitled to have his own take on it. But I just think it's wrong. I just don't agree with it. I don't think this is a reason to attack an Xbox fan. And Tim's a cool guy, man. Tim's a really nice, down-to-earth guy. He's a real dude, man. And he's a real gamer. And he cares about the Xbox brand. And I don't think there's anything wrong with caring about the Xbox brand. All the Sony guys are so defensive on PlayStation. They actually have a Sony defense force. And we've known this from like the Xbox 360 days. When there's something bad about Sony or there's negative Sony news, the Sony Defense Force is under every single post. If you see an Xbox post, you look under it, you're going to see a lot of Sony fans in there saying some really mean stuff. They're always in there ridiculing the Xbox brand. If you look at a PlayStation post, you're not going to see much of that going on. There might be a little bit of it, not too much of it. And I've always believed that give credit where it's due. If a good game is a good game, just give it credit. If something on one platform is running really well or they're doing something great, give it credit, and vice versa. And I noticed that a lot of these PlayStation players, they don't have an Xbox, where a lot of Xbox players do have a PlayStation. So they can speak on certain PlayStation things because they also experience the PlayStation. These PlayStation guys don't experience anything involved with the Xbox. A lot of them don't. So how can you judge the Xbox? How can you judge Game Pass when you've never been in it, when you've never experienced the ecosystem, but you got so much to say? And once again, that platform is number one. Why do you care what Xbox is doing? You're number one. You got all the great games. You have all the great exclusives. You have a brand new game in Final Fantasy 16. You should be out there playing and enjoying that game. But here we have people making comments that are just stupid. We have people posting stuff that are from a reputable company or were a part of a team saying that Xbox fans are paid. And I don't believe Xbox fans are paid. I saw a post saying that Colt is paid. Colt is not paid. Because he got flown out to see Redfall doesn't mean he was paid. He was sent there, he came back, he did a video. This is a part of the business. Rand, I heard someone say Rand is paid. Rand's not paid. Or Dealer is paid by Microsoft. Dealer's not paid by Microsoft. And if you watched RDX, you would know that because we cuss and curse like crazy. I've never been paid for anything. I always give you guys my honest opinion, and you guys know that because when Redfall came out and it was at 30 FPS, I was not happy about that. And I made a video about that, and a lot of Xbox fans were upset with me. And I ripped that game to shreds. I don't want to open up old wounds, so we'll just leave it at that. But people that watch this channel know that I'm always honest. I call it like it is. And I think that's why they return to my channel, and I appreciate you guys. But the truth of the matter is, it's not cool to be an Xbox fan. These guys are in their feelings right now. And can you imagine? This is while the deal is still like being mulled over. There's no ruling on this deal. The judge will rule on this deal, I believe, as early as Wednesday. So can you imagine their reaction when this goes Microsoft's way? And we're hoping that it goes Microsoft's way. Anything can happen. Let's be clear on that. But the evidence just does not support the FTC's case. It doesn't. And if you've been watching the trial, if you've been seeing my coverage, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I don't want to go into all of that. Now, my point is, when Microsoft is able to close this deal, these guys are going to lose their mind. So can you imagine the salt? Get out of your feelings. Enjoy your platform. Nothing is going to change for you if this deal goes through with Xbox. You're still going to enjoy these Activision games on the platform. Call of Duty is still going to be on the PlayStation. PlayStation is still going to be in the #1 position because Microsoft is not going to overcome Sony overnight. It's going to take time. This deal going through is going to help Microsoft. It's going to help the Xbox brand for sure. So if you want to look at it objectively, y'all are just being salty. And I think it's about time someone that likes the Xbox brand says something about all of this nonsense, because it's ridiculous. And I see a lot of Xbox fans, they don't respond to this stuff. They just let it happen. And it's like unwarranted attacks. Like someone just walking down the street, you just like slap them in the face for no reason. Nah, that can't happen. There's nothing wrong with an Xbox fan messaging an executive and saying, great job. I like what you're doing here. It's the same as people message celebrities or message companies that they like. It happens all the time. And to be so naive to think that Sony fans don't do that too, keep the same energy. I bet we're not going to see any tweets saying, hey, Sony fans, stop messaging Yoshida. We're not going to see any of that stuff. Hey, Sony fans, stop messaging Kojima. You think Sony fans don't message these guys? Really? I think I've made my point. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all of this. I think it's ridiculous that people are being attacked for being Xbox fans. And on top of that, being said that they're fake Xbox fans, that they're bots, or they're just fake fans creating multiple sock accounts, and it's just ridiculous. And the reason why we're seeing a lot more Xbox activity, a lot more chatter from the Xbox community is because of this merger and because of this case. And everybody knows how important it is to the Xbox brand, and Xbox fans are happy and they're more vocal. And I think the PlayStation guys, they're not used to Xbox guys being as vocal because the community is smaller than PlayStation, and PlayStation is always out there talking all that smack. And now Xbox is really happy and confident about this deal going through. Fans are excited, and Sony guys are in their feelings. It is what it is. And I gotta be honest with you, they know deep down inside that Sony looked really bad coming out of this. They were exposed. And I see all this stuff. Oh, Microsoft is not organic. Sony is organic. And it's all nonsense at the end of the day. Both of these companies are going to compete by any means necessary to get the consumers' dollars. It is what it is. Sony is more efficient at doing it than Microsoft. Microsoft wants to compete, and that's why we have this ABK merger going down. Sony fans are upset that Microsoft will be able to compete. Sony is upset that Microsoft will be able to compete. They're being petty. I don't know. I'm done on this. So just let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.